Let's do some gaming related news. Right now, as of today, Newegg is selling Deus Ex Mankind Divided for $16. And I figure if you're interested and you missed the summer sale, this might be something worth picking up on the PC. I actually like Deus Ex a lot, but there is a caveat here. There are some instances where Deus Ex Mankind Divided won't launch on some Windows 10 computers. I'm one of the people affected by this, where for some reason it'll Steam launch and then go into this infinite sort of loop where then it'll crash before it even gets up and going. Some people say you need to create a whole new user in order to play Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Others say you need to take off all the DLC and then put it back on. I tried the DLC, put it back on, it didn't work. I haven't tried creating a whole new user yet, but yeah, something to keep in mind if you have the PC version. In other news, Dean Hall criticizes Ark's price increase as fucking outrageous. The developer says he's a huge fan of the Dino survival game, but it's nowhere near ready for a $60 price tag. And I quote from Twitter, "Just so we're clear, in my opinion, the price increase for Ark is fucking outrageous. Ark the game is nowhere near ready for that kind of price increase. It's greed pure and simple. It represents a huge disconnect with the community." The former DayZ developer Dean Hall published a series of tweets about the price increase of Ark Survival Evolved, which jumped from $30 to $60 a month before planned departure of early access in August. "We should be encouraging games to stay in early access until they are finished," quote Daryl Hall. Dean Hall, sorry, I said Daryl Hall from Hall and Oates. This is the same guy who came up with the DayZ game. And people immediately started firing back. How about you finish DayZ before you start popping off at Ark? But from what this says right here, he's a former DayZ developer. So the fact that DayZ has not come out of early access is no longer his responsibility, is it not? It's like if you worked at Wendy's and you said, "These McDonald's hamburgers suck." And then someone who knew you was like, "Hey, why don't you shut the fuck up till you make better burgers at Wendy's?" And it's like, I don't work there anymore, asshole. But further speculation also says he abandons every game he makes. And you know what? I have no opinion, as I was never a fan of DayZ. And what the fuck ever. If I could fucking come up with something, get paid, and walk without having any responsibility, bitch, I'd do it and you would too. So cut the shit. On top of that, let's get real here. The Ark Survival Evolved price increase is a move of greed in my opinion. I agree with him there. Simply because in 4 months Xbox One X is going to launch. Ark Survival Evolved is going to be one of the launch titles. So you know they got to get in on that gravy train, dude. There aren't going to be that many games out literally on the launch of Xbox. They're already hyping people up by telling them, "Hey, the Xbox One X is just as good as a PC with a 1070 and 16 gigabytes of RAM. That's how powerful it is. It runs Ark Survival Evolved at 1080p 60 FPS. But the question is, they don't tell you the game runs at 1080p 60 FPS, low settings, medium settings, mix of high medium, mix of low medium high. Like, fucking tell us, you assholes, because frankly, I know for a fact this game runs like shit on PC, and it's been on PC for fucking ever. On top of that, with a 1080 GTX Ti, you can't get 60 FPS on fucking Epic. So these motherfuckers need to cut the shit. They're riding the high stream. They're gonna make their money. And I'd do the same if I was a company whose bottom line was getting paid. You know, that's the name of the game. And that's what they're in this for. If you think it's for any other reason, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you, other than I have some bridges I'd like to sell you, starting with the one called the George Washington Bridge. You can meet me at a disclosed location. I like my money in cash, please. Oh, Michael Pachter's back at it again. The Pack Attack. The man who will tell you everything you already fucking know's gonna happen. Jesus Christ. Well, anyway, so it's been a couple of months since the PlayStation 4 Pro has released. It's nothing really that special. Anyway, game analyst Michael Pachter, who works for Wedbush Securities, which if I owned Wedbush Securities, I'd probably fire this guy. Because if he's this far off the mark on gaming, he wouldn't know what the fuck to do with a real hack. Michael Pachter has told Gaming Bolt that he expects the PlayStation 5 to launch in 2019, and that it will be a half step, similar to how, in Pachter's view, the PlayStation 4 Pro was a half step over the PlayStation 4 base model. And I quote, "The PlayStation 4 Pro is better from a technological perspective than the PlayStation 4. So I think that's half step towards the PlayStation 5, he said. I think the PlayStation 5 will be another half step. He added, my expectation that it's not coming in 2018, that it will be 2019 or 2020, but probably 2019. So which one is it, Pack Attack? I mean, I could make those sort of bold claims too. Anyone fucking can. I mean, he's like a psychic, you know? If you've ever dealt with psychics or people who think they're psychic, they do cold readings and stuff like that, where they just sort of make these sort of blanket statements that they just keep firing until someone sort of makes a connection for them. It also harkens back to the Texas sharpshooter fallacy. You should look it up to understand what the fuck I'm talking about there. But to surmise or make it smaller, or to summarize, forgive me, if a sharpshooter went to a barn and started shooting up the side of the barn, and he walked to it and then drew, dots where his bullet marks were, of course you'd hit the mark everywhere if you draw the conclusion there and put it there yourself, It's hard to explain. You need to read it. But point being, that's pretty much what the Pack Attack does. Sony is probably timing it better because they are going to bring the 4K capable device when the 4K TV market reaches 50% in the US and 35% in the rest of the world. I don't think that's what Sony's waiting for. If anything, Sony is right now in the paper stage, where they're spitballing ideas for the next PlayStation console, and it's ever evolving and ever changing as technology comes. It's pretty much a fucking given. I'm sure they're most likely waiting for whatever the hell Vega's gonna do and whatever the hell Volt is gonna do. But if anything, they're staying with AMD. So whatever the hell AMD comes up with, probably wait till that Nvidia launches or something like that. But if Nvidia launches, there's a strong chance that Sony wouldn't use it because it'd be too expensive and it'd be new technology. Most likely, Sony will end up using cheap Vega parts because Vega will then be cheaper by the time Nvidia or Naval, whatever the fuck that next graphics card from AMD is going to be, comes out. So it'll still be behind the PC market per as usual. The name of the game is making money, plain and simple. So I would surmise they'd use some sort of Vega technology on the cheap that would be leaps and bounds over what's going on right now, including with the Xbox Scorpio. And the CPU, let's hope that they don't go with this APU bullshit. Also, if you check out TweetTown, there's an article that was posted on June 3rd, right around Computex, where the guy got to ask a PlayStation insider, someone high up in the ladder that knows what's going on with PlayStation, about the PlayStation 5. Long story short, basically, he asked the PlayStation representative, will the PlayStation have an APU like Xbox Scorpio or whatever the fuck, or will it have a discrete GPU? And the guy said it will not have an APU, meaning that the PlayStation 5 will have its own discrete GPU. But he didn't quite say it, but that's what they're alluding to. So that could lead to great things for PlayStation 5 and maybe make consoles less shitty. Time will tell if it comes to fruition, because who knows what the price would be. But anyway, back to point. Michael Pachter then says, will the PlayStation 5 be 4K? Yes. Will the PlayStation 5 run at 240 FPS? He doesn't know. The real question is, will PlayStation 5 be backwards compatible with PlayStation Pro games? And the fact that he even said that makes no sense, simply because there are no PlayStation Pro exclusive games. So he may as well said, will the PlayStation 5 be backwards compatible with PlayStation 4? And that all depends on how much the user base complains. If anything, I bet Sony would push for emulation of their games or for people to use their streaming service. Why would they bother making an architecture that's backwards compatible? It's a pain in the ass for them. And frankly, if you really want backwards compatible gaming, you really need to go to PC. There's no way around it. I know people like to shit, piss, and moan, PC's too expensive, this and that, but it's all misnomers and lies spread around to mislead and misguide you into believing a false narrative. And it's up to you to dig deeper to find the truth in all of the bullshit. And if you don't want to, then fuck it, it ain't my job. But I'll put it to you like this. You want a better gaming experience, you gotta go PC. You want a better looking girlfriend, you better get your ass in shape. You better dress better. You better get a better job. You better have a nicer car. You better be goddamn interesting. If you want that step change in life, then you gotta make the changes yourself. Listen to Michael Jackson. I'm talking to the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. Na 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 na. Ooh, ooh. I'm gonna get so much shit. The PlayStation 5 will surely support 4K. Like, really, Michael? 4K is the future. And the console market is always pushing the next fucking level. You know, before it's 720p. Then it was 1080p. Now it's 4K. They didn't even bother with 1440p. Will it support 240 frames per second? He's saying that sarcastically. So I'm going to skip that one. Will it play games that were made for the PlayStation 4 Pro? I've already said that. So I think they will build a console that will be backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4 Pro. Does he even play video games? There is no PlayStation 4 Pro games. There are only PlayStation 4 games. That's it. You know, the Pro version, you could unlock the GPUs and maybe get a few extra frames. Or some of the developers allow you to have a little bit more visual fidelity. It's no fucking major tissy. Let's get off of this shit before I lose my damn mind. And you know what? On that note, I think that's enough. Simply because I've covered everything worthwhile. Oh, actually, there's something left. Call of Duty World War II Zombie Army of the Dead trailer leaked today. Or I should say, literally leaked, like, right now. So I'll try and steal it and add it if I can for you to see clips of it. Maybe if I finagle around, they'll allow it to live without me getting in too much trouble. Ah well, that's gonna do it for me. I can't actually give more of a shit to me. Rate, comment, subscribe if you choose to. If not, to hell with it. But if you choose to follow me, remember, the more people that follow me on Twitch and Twitter, the less these gaming companies and computer hardware companies can ignore me, can ignore my following. We shall march off into the madness of the shill-infested hardware world, and we will take it back for the average guy looking to just get the best bang for his goddamn buck. Because Lord knows he only has 2 nickels to rub together, so he may as well have the best he can get with those 2 damn nickels before the bills take it or his family confiscates the rest.